All right, this video is going to be about the penguin drop and how it's been built, and more importantly, how to assemble it. This is primarily so that I know how to put it back together next year, because there's a lot of different parts. Okay, so the first part here is the main part of the mast, the base. This has a concrete base inside a tire. This used to be the tetherball pole, and it's about 10 feet tall. On the bottom, I've installed some extra hardware. This piece is what holds on the guide pole. We'll get into that in a minute. This is the main motor, and this here contains the speed control, and I'll show how all this stuff hooks up in a bit. The important thing is that this piece really shouldn't be moved over the summer, or if it is, need to mark it so that you get it in the right height. This here is a stop switch, so that when the penguin comes down, it'll stop and not rip itself to shreds. The next part is the top pole. This hooks onto the top of the main pole, and basically its whole function is to make the pole taller. And then it's got some pulley things at the top. It also has a stop switch that keeps the thing from going too far. These things are also 3D printed from PETG. There's one pulley, this brass looking one here is for the counterweight, and there's another pulley. I have the pulley out right now. This is for the belt that drives the penguin up and down. There's also some assorted little bits of hardware here that'll put on, and a little cap thing to try to keep some of the crap out. This piece is the guide pole, and this goes the full height. It's got 2 blocks on each end that match up with the blocks on the rest of the pole, and right now it has the belt already put inside of it, which is really about the only way you can assemble this thing. It should be, there's like a front and a back here. So this is the back, this faces the main pole. This is the front, and you can see it has this wire here. You don't want the penguin to ride on the wire. So really, this is the back of the whole contraption when it's all put together. The wire here is for attaching to the stop switch. The part here that this end isn't painted, that means it's the bottom. The top is painted all the way, and you can see the other ends of the wires. This is the counterweight, just a hunk of rebar. This has to be put into the pipe, into the mast when it's first assembled. And this is the main carrier for the penguin. The main mast pipe goes through here. The guide pipe will go through here. Yep, right through there. And the belt attaches to these parts. Well, there's one here, and there's one down underneath. There's also this, which is the string for the counterweight. This is the main controller switch. It's got up, down, or down and off in the middle. And this is for the speed. Pretty much one end of this hooks into the 12-volt power supply, and the other end hooks to the motor, and the colors of this mark the polarity and should match the way it's plugged in on the other side. Okay, so the main assembly of the pole, basically what I'm going to do is pull the pole down, and then slide the penguin onto it, slide the counterweight partly into the bottom pole, and then run the string from the penguin up through the top pole pulley and out the bottom, and then attach the bottom of that to the counterweight. It's best to make sure these are pointing up when you do this. Okay. You know what? This would have been easier if it wasn't attached to the penguin. So I'm going to remove that. There we go. Okay, that's all hooked up. The next part is to attach the guide pole. Now that the pole is on, I need to get the pulley in, right, for the belt. When you put this pulley in, you got to pull the belt out a little bit. You got to have slack at the bottom to do that. And then put the pulley in. The pulley's been greased so it doesn't squeak. And this pin only fits in a certain way. And then you got to put the clevis on it. If you can see it. Then you hook on the wires for the switch. Does not matter which one is which. Polarity doesn't matter. These have already been greased with some dielectric grease, so because it's going to get wet. Okay, now we're going to screw these on. I forgot to put washers underneath this thing, but it's a pain to get it off, so we'll do that next time. These need to be snug, but yeah, not super tight. Down here at the bottom, these are put on pretty much the same way. And then we're going to check the wire here for the switch. I don't really want that going inside there. Again, these, it doesn't really matter which one is which. It's just a switch. This thing has gotten loose, so I'm going to have to fix that. I think it was glued. It looks like it needs 2 screws. What's going on here? There we go. And then this wire is for the top switch. It goes into the red connectors. and the belt goes around the pulley. It's not really hard attached to the Penguin yet, so we don't really have to worry about that too much. A couple last bit of things at the top. We need to make sure that this rope is in the pulley here, and then I'm gonna put our little cap on here to make it a little better. Okay, now we're going to raise this up and make the final attachments. Okay, I raised it up and I attached the counterweight rope while I was doing it. And now we hook on the belt. Okay, I was not super careful about getting this in here without twists, so we'll see how it works. Okay. Okay, now we're going to hook the power in and see if this thing still works. I got the power supply plugged in, but the switch is off. Put this in. Blue to blue, red to red. And let's see if it works. Bring it down. Nothing. Huh. All right. Okay, after a whole bunch of frustrating debugging, I realized I had these switches in here wrong. Or the wires. One wire has to go to the bottom and the other one goes to this top one, I think. Yeah, so I've got this one right here on the bottom. I got to pull down and do the same thing to the top, and then we should be good. The last part is the base. This is not completely finished, but we're going to put it on anyway. I want this to go up tight, but it's not gonna. Let me get another zip tie. Okay, so I had the zip tie in here real tight, and it needs to be loose when you first put this on, and then when you get this over the bar at the top and the bottom, then you can tighten it up. That'll work better. Now for the top. This still needs to be painted. It's gonna go like this. And we'll try to put a screw in here without a screwdriver. Okay, now that I have a screwdriver, I'll just put a couple screws in here just to tack this in, see how it's going to work. There we go. All right.